Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today we're taking a look at 10 different beast mode fragrance for the winter that will destroy the cold weather. Just a disclaimer, fragrances cannot actually destroy weather at all. So it can't make it hotter outside. But what these will do is work really well when it's cold outside, even freezing. They're still gonna project. You're still gonna be able to pick them up. Other people will too. And each one of these is a beast in terms of the longevity and the projection. These ones are fantastic. You don't have to spray super heavy with these, but if you did, everybody within like 20 feet would know. And we've got a nice mix of fragrances here today. Some more affordable designers, some higher end designers, some niche, some indie, lots of stuff. Let's jump into it. First off, let's talk about this one. Bond number 9 New York Amber. I don't really talk about Bond number 9 a whole lot on this channel, and that's because a lot of the fragrances are not really that impressive for the price that you have to pay to pick them up. Now they do have some standout fragrances that I absolutely love, so they do have some killers. I'm not trying to take shots at the house. This one has a tried and tested and true DNA to it. It has oud, it has saffron, and it has rose. That's kind of like the holy oud trifecta that you'll see in so many different fragrances. This one also has a dollop of amber over top those notes. That one is a unisex fragrance. Doesn't really lean feminine, doesn't really lean masculine for me. It's just kind of right there in the middle as a nice unisex scent. Performance, as I mentioned before, killer, lasts forever. This one, unfortunately, is a tester bottle. If you do buy a tester, like I did, it's gonna have no cap on it. You can get a 50 ml of this as of this video for about $100 from FragranceNet. At that price, it's really solid. So this one is gonna be for people that really do enjoy those oud, rose, saffron fragrances, but with a nice dose of sweet amber mixed in there as well. The next fragrance that I wanna talk about is one that I absolutely love. Love it. I'll talk about this fragrance probably forever until it's discontinued, and then I'll be really depressed. It's Dior Intense. Wow. This is obviously a newer bottle, as you can tell by the Dior Intense right here on the top of the cap. It is maybe slightly changed around from an older bottle, but it still smells amazing. It's got iris and ambrette, it has lavender, it's got cedar. This stuff is amazing. I've talked about it a million times on the channel. You can wear that formally without any issue whatsoever. It is a fantastic night out fragrance. It does have that kind of lipsticky, makeup-y iris accord, but it's great. Dior Intense, I will wear pretty much anytime. I really don't care. I don't have to wear it in a formal situation. I'll wear it casually. I think that's amazing. This next one, I actually found at TJ Maxx maybe 2 years ago. I feel like it was around 2 years ago. It's Robert Graham Fortitude. The note breakdown on this is super simple. Tobacco, tonka, patchouli. That's it, 3 notes. I also really like the presentation. I like that kind of steampunk cap that this one has. If you get the larger bottle size, this is 100 mils, but if you get the larger bottle size, the cap really goes out of control. But with this one, it still looks great. And this one is kind of a surprise. It's been talked about online on a bunch of different channels. I've mentioned it a couple times on my channel as well. But this one is kind of a hidden gem in a way, because people outside of the fragrance community really don't know a whole lot about this fragrance or this fragrance line. You're not gonna see this in as many places as you are Yves Saint Laurent or Hugo Boss or even Azzaro. Robert Graham really doesn't have huge distribution like those other fragrance houses do. So this one's really gonna have you stand out from the crowd. It's a fantastic tobacco fragrance. It also has this kind of, almost this kind of like herbal undertone to it that works really well. And that one is one that's very surprising with the performance. If you smell it from the atomizer or from a tester strip or something, you may think that it's okay in terms of performance, but it's actually really good. It lingers for a long time. Hey there, sorry to interrupt you. let me tell you about my new discovery set from Galeria Parfums, my new brand that I launched. Inside here, there are 7 different samples, one for each fragrance that I launched the brand with. And you're also gonna find this right here, where you can save up to $650 on the bottles of your choosing. They come individually packaged like so, and they come individually packaged and labeled like so you know exactly which fragrance you're smelling. Imagine that. Each one of these I worked with the master perfumer hand in hand with to create. There's a link in the description to Galeria Parfums. Go check them out and scoop up a discovery set while you're at it. All right, next up, let's go with a Menthol. Menthol, you could use almost any fragrance from the house and it would work in this list. I mean, they're just super powerful fragrances. This one is patchouli leaves. Obviously, this is a patchouli-based fragrance. It says it right on the label, patchouli leaves, but there are also some other things in here that contrast the patchouli. So you're gonna have vanilla in here, you're gonna have labdanum. It's gonna give it this really nice richness and depth and a little bit of sweetness as well. You've also got a little bit of musk in here, got some amber, and that amber plays right in with the vanilla and the labdanum. This one, an absolute stunner for cold weather, but you have to love patchouli. And I mean patchouli. It's got a pungent patchouli smell to it, but I love patchouli. I think it's a fantastic note. I really love patchouli forward fragrances. Some people will get that, you know, hippie vibe a little bit when they smell a fragrance that's really patchouli forward, but this one is very well done and it lasts forever. Like I said though, realistically, I could have pulled out any fragrance from my Menthol collection and been like, this one. Yep, that would work. Most of them, at least the ones that people talk about the most, are based around oud, and some Menthol oud fragrances can be a bit screechy. I really like patchouli leaves, so I figured good time to work that one in. Next up, I want to go with another Dior, and this one is a stunner, in my opinion. It is Eau Sauvage Parfum. This one has myrrh, patchouli, vetiver, and bergamot, along with oak moss. This stuff, this is good. Now, this is not going to be for the younger guys out there. So, you know, teenagers, early 20s, they're gonna smell this and be like, nah, man, I can't get no compliments with that. But you can for sure. This obviously is a flanker to Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette. Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette, a very gentlemanly kind of throwback fragrance. Well, obviously it's been out for decades and decades and decades, but this one modernized, given a big boost on the back end. The myrrh in there just really pops. The fragrance itself is so rich. I mean, it's really something that you need to smell yourself, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll do a full review on this at some point. Absolutely worth having in your collection if you do collect fragrances. And that one in the wintertime can go up against anything, especially if we're talking about a night out fragrance, more specifically, kind of a more dressed up night out. Eau Sauvage Parfum is just top notch. Now let's go from Eau Sauvage Parfum to a fragrance that I myself don't actually really love, but for younger guys out there, this one is actually gonna do better, most likely, than Eau Sauvage Parfum would, even in the same situations. It's Invictus Intense from Paco Rabanne. This one has amber, it's got ambergris, it's got salt, but it also has whiskey. So this basically takes that Invictus DNA, that little bit of bubblegummy sweetness in the opening, and does slightly give it more maturity. The whiskey in there makes it a little bit darker, which you would expect looking at that bottle. I mean, that bottle is substantially darker than the original, so that's basically what they're trying to tell you just through the presentation is, hey man, this is Invictus, but a little bit more mysterious, and like I said, maybe slightly more grown up. It's pretty affordable as far as discounters go anyway. I mean, if you buy it at full retail, obviously it's not, but from discounters, not that expensive. Really nice evening fragrance, lasts forever. There's a lot to like about it. I myself am just not a huge fan of the Invictus DNA, but Invictus Intense is solid. Next up, let's take a look at an indie fragrance, January Scent Project Smolder Rose. This, also great stuff. This one has rose, it has smoke, it has a seashell accord, it's got olibanum, it's got bergamot. Just a fantastic scent. And really, in the name, it's kind of telling you what to expect here. Smolder Rose. It's this really, really, really pleasant rose. It's very rich, it's a little bit dark, and you have this smokiness that kind of just wafts in along with it right there, right away, as soon as you spray it on. It lasts forever, it's very rich, it's deep. It's one that I may do a full review on in the future, and if you are unaware of January Scent Project, I highly suggest that you check them out. I actually bought 3 fragrances from the house, this obviously being one of them. Next up is a cheapie that gets a lot of love, and for a good reason. Uomo Signature from Salvatore Ferragamo. If you want a fragrance in this line that has killer performance, this is the one that you want to get, Signature. And it's also a huge compliment beast. So if you're after compliments, this one. And the original too. The original is really good for compliments also. This one has tonka, leather, cinnamon, and coffee as some of the notes in the fragrance. This one takes the Uomo DNA, makes it a little bit darker, gives it a little more punch and a little more mystery to it. Not completely different from the idea, not maybe the way that it was executed, but the idea behind Invictus Intense. Uomo Signature lasts and lasts and lasts. You can wear this during the day or the night, though most people are gonna say it is more of a nighttime fragrance. And I, for one, think that the bottle is really cool, actually. I like the way that it looks, and I like the way that they've done it just in all black. They've basically just completely blacked this thing out, and it looks great. Next up, let's talk about a fragrance from the house of Awash. It is not Interlude, it is actually Overture. This one has myrrh, it has cognac, it has benzoin, sandalwood. This one, oof, this one is fantastic. This is one of the best Awash fragrances that's come out over the past, I don't even know, 3, 4, 5 years at least. The opening to some people is a little bit harsh because it does really punch you in the face when you first spray this one on. It's got a pungent blast. Actually, some people will say that the opening is a little bit animalic. To me, it's really not. I actually get this nice smokiness in the opening. It works perfectly with the cognac, with a little bit of spice in there. As it dries down, it gets more woody. You do get that cognac booziness coming in and out. Stuff is great. This is one that I really wanted when it was first released, but I didn't pick it up, and I kind of put it off and put it off and put it off. Finally got it, and then I was kind of left wondering, why did I put that off for so long? This is fantastic. This is amazing. I'm gonna be wearing this a lot this winter myself. And the last fragrance is another Dior. Yeah, 3 Dior fragrances in this list. It's Fahrenheit Le Parfum. I'm a huge fan of the entire Fahrenheit line though, to be fair. I love all Fahrenheit fragrances. Well, almost all Fahrenheit fragrances. There were a couple flankers that I could have done without. This one has suede, it has violet leaf, it has rum and vanilla. Good amount of vanilla, actually. And really the rum in here and the vanilla give this such a cozy sort of warmth to it and sweetness that really just take this to the next level as far as wearability goes, and as far as, if you want to call it, mass appeal goes. The original Fahrenheit is an absolute classic. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Nowadays though, some people are going to find that dated. And they're going to say it's not really wearable. I'm not going to get compliments. People aren't going to like it as much, blah, blah, blah. This one, you will never have that issue. It lasts forever. So even though it's a smaller bottle, you can stretch it out and use it forever and ever because you're not going to really need to spray very much of it. And it gets you noticed in hugely positive ways. Fahrenheit Le Parfum is amazing. It's a bummer that it's so hard to find in the US, just like Dior Parfum. And that's the last one in this list, Fahrenheit Le Parfum, another Dior. Guys, let me know in the comments below some fragrances that you wear when it's just freezing outside, because you know they're gonna last and perform. As always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.